All right, welcome back to another episode of Right On. Thank you for being a patron of the Patreon. These videos are only for patrons only. Just appreciate you supporting. And we're filming this this is January of 2022. Been writing a lot more, so I'm excited to open up a new book after this one is exhausted. I don't think we have exhausted this yet, but this is where I open up my book to you and I read a portion of it to you. So let's see what we randomly fall upon. This is going to be random, unlike last month. It might be something I already read. Yeah. This is Cornerstore. And so, okay. So I kind of know where this is from. Let me see if I got so I don't know if I want to. Yeah, this is from the new album, Social Science Club. I think once a few months goes past, I can't call it new anymore because it's almost a year old. But I think music, relatively wise, a year old is fairly young. And this is how this goes. And there isn't anything you could do about that. It's in the past. The song was great, and that's about that. The mixtape was flames and laid without a foul track. You bounce back, and it's not about how fast. Though apathetic and unnerved, believed in you until belief became just a word. And now they celebrate an early out of context while we rising like fury on a 4-count stretch. Now that is indicative if you watch the first fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. It went back and forth. Deontay Wilder then knocks out Tyson Fury. When you watch knockouts and you watch boxing or MMA, and if you don't, I totally understand. It can be disturbing to some people, but I love. I'm a very big fan of fight choreography, competitive fighting, and just watching people kind of do the dance and the stories behind each fighter. But Tyson Fury gets knocked out, and if you've watched knockouts every now and then, you'll know when somebody is out. And when he went down, all 6'11", 250 or more pounds of him went down, you're like, that guy's out. And so he was down, and bless the referee, started counting, and he rose up like The Undertaker in pro wrestling out of nowhere, while we rising like fury on a 4-count stretch. So, and this is the exact type of series where ad nauseum I explain things. While we rising like fury on a 4-count stretch, ooh, hot stepping in my courthouse best, since kid fresh and the folklore won't rest. More or less, the course of the score, don't stress. I'm the type to push it on E, screaming, I got this. You're pushing it on empty, saying, look, don't worry about it, I got it. You really don't got it because you're on empty. Defy logic and ride progress through the walls they set brick by brick by brick. Can't lock us all in detention from wanting to shout back. Loud, mad, black, proud, and took it on the chin and headed back into the next place. Short-term memory, please don't fail me today and I don't think that last line made it in. And so this one is all over the place, but if you listen to the song, you'll hear all the lyrics. But to go back to what we were saying, and to give you the context of this, this is a letter to a friend that left for California. And this is kind of interesting because this is all written in red right here. There's a lot of red writing. That's usually, I want to say it's not intentional, but it was intentional. For what the mood was, I don't know. Believed in you until belief became just a word. This was a very, very special person in my life that moved out to California. And after they moved out to California, it was kind of, the entire connection changes, and it's, but they moved out to California to kind of become a doctor. Not kind of become a doctor, they became a doctor. But when you go into med school, then you do that, then you go into, I believe it was called residency, then after residency you go into something else, then you actually get a job. But this person, I'd known them throughout before medical school, during residency, and then when they left for California, it was kind of like, au revoir, Shoshana. It was like, if I can throw back to Inglourious Bastards. Oh man, that dude killed that line. Anyways, the second verse goes, on arrival since Russia lost Fievel, coming to America, I believe, not coming to America. Essentially, Fievel was a mouse that left Russia and moved to the U.S., and it showed you just the absolute awful way that immigrants are treated. But they showed you through a cartoon. Since on arrival since Russia lost Fievel, since Kirby Puckett snapped the white man's axe over the right field after the ninth, though. The Atlanta Braves, which is an extremely racist name, were playing the Twins in the 90s. And Kirby Puckett, there's a T-shirt of Kirby Puckett who's snapping an axe because the Atlanta Braves fans would do, I'm not even going to do it, they would do what it was called the tomahawk chop. And so you would have thousands, tens of thousands of white people doing this racist, awful form of appropriation, mockery, performative violence, just awful. And part of the beef was, let's beat this racistly named team and get rid of this awful cheer that they do. It's tougher to let go. It's tougher to let go than let it hate. Easier to let it loose than in the cage. I want to believe in God, believe in faith, and it gets outweighed by the mess I've already made. That line, I remember writing that, and I was not in a great place because it took at least 6 months to write this. You know, you write a little bit, come back to it. That line specifically, I want to believe in God, believe in faith, but it gets outweighed by the mess I've already made. I mean, if I could speak to Toussaint, well, back in 2016, who started writing this? It's 2022, so 6 years later. It gets better, my friend. It gets better. And the messes that we make or that we're responsible for or brought into, they don't need to outweigh anything. We can outweigh them or we can outmaneuver them or bring value to them by what we do afterwards. I'm a happy accident, fronting as a massive catastrophe waiting to happen. I took your patience out the pasture with the shotgun full of blanks as a would-be assassin. A classless act sitting back at a class taking a nap. California called your talents to take them west. I played it fresh, paid the debt in a year's worth of projection and hating myself. I mean, this person writing this at this moment, the version of myself that wrote this wasn't feeling too great about themselves, I'll tell you that. That's real. I press road to wheel, let it coast off course into an Iowa cornfield. And if it's a torn shield and broken ego over the ordeal, I'd say I came out better ever after than before. Still, no regret, still punching holes in the fence, still running up the scoreboard no matter how forlorn the events. The scorn is no sweat. Last time that I checked, the marathon continues, my friend. Now, and I wrote last time, I checked wrong. Last time that I checked, song from Nipsey Hussle. He's, famous for, the phrase, the marathon continues. Has a story called The Marathon. And it kind of, it at least wraps up on a positive note, like, hey, you're gone. Life is still going to go on. We're going to keep plugging away and make this thing happen. And so I think the biggest thing about this song, Cornerstore, is it just delves into how aware one can be of their own self-sabotage. Like, there was no part of self-sabotage or any part of things going south, regardless of whether it was a disagreement or just timing not lining up. It's the idea that you feel bad about things, you feel pain about things, you feel sadness in connections or friendships ending. But the idea is that, you're aware of it at all times. And when you can come back to it and say, this is what happened. And no longer am I going to apply a story to it that's going to allow it to loop itself. And that's kind of what that's about. And so it's me wishing this person well out in California and, and knowing that better things are down the line. You know, life is going to get a lot better. It's going to get a lot better. And so, but the frame I was writing this in, whew, there was some hurting going on there. So that is Cornerstore. You have an ad nauseum explanation of what that was all about. Could have went longer on it, but I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching Right On. Thank you for being a patron. We'll see you in the next one.